So this is CPM Precalculus Chapter 1, number 50. So we're asked to solve a triangle, and we're told that in order to solve a triangle, we need to find all of the missing sides and angles. So this is triangle ABC. And we're given angle A is 38 degrees. We know angle C here is the right angle, so that's 90 degrees. And we know side CB down here is 15 centimeters. So what we don't know is angle A, right? We don't know angle A. We don't know the length of side B. And we don't know the length of side C. So to solve this triangle, we need to find all of the missing sides or angles, okay? So you can start anywhere you want. Like, I'm just going to start by looking at what's the measure of angle A, okay? So we know when we add up all the angles inside of a triangle, they must equal 180 degrees. So the measure of angle A plus the measure of angle B plus the measure of angle C has to equal 180 degrees. So we don't know the measure of angle A. So let's leave that as just a variable. We know the measure of angle B is 38 degrees, and we know the measure of angle C is 90 degrees. And that's equal to 180 degrees. So then we could combine like terms and solve for measure of angle A. So 38 plus 90 is 128 degrees. We still have to make sure we include measure of angle A there, bring it down, so subtract 128 from both sides. And we get measure of angle A is equal to 52 degrees. Okay, so then we can go ahead and write that and say measure of angle A. So we don't have a question mark anymore, so I'm going to erase that. Oh, I can't erase that. Can I erase it now? Yes. Okay, so now we know it's equal to 52 degrees. Equals 52 degrees. Okay, so check that. Okay, so let me get rid of all of that. We still need to find side B and side C. So I'm going to even write this in 52 degrees in my triangle. Okay, so how could we find side B or C? Well, one thing we know for a right triangle, we know the Pythagorean Theorem. And the Pythagorean Theorem is basically saying this: the length of our hypotenuse squared is equal to the sum of the squares of our legs, the other sides of the triangle. Okay, so we know one side. So if we only know one side, we'll call this side A. We cannot use this equation to solve for the unknowns because we get c squared equals 15 squared plus b squared. And we need to know something more about B and C, B or C. So what we can do is use our trigonometric functions. That's going to be sine, cosine, tangent, and we know SOHCAHTOA. So SOHCAHTOA is how the function sine is related to the opposite over hypotenuse side of the triangle and so forth. Okay, so we can use any one of these angles, 52 degrees or 38, not 90, as our reference angle. So let's say we use 38 degrees. No matter which one we use, we're going to get the same answer. So if I use sine of 38 degrees, I know that's opposite over hypotenuse. The opposite side is B. The hypotenuse is C. It's always across from the right angle. So that doesn't really help because I still have two unknowns, right? What about cosine of 38 degrees? So cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. So looking at our reference angle, the side adjacent to it is this side here. Okay, so that's 15 divided by c, which is our hypotenuse. Okay, so now we can use this to solve for c. So let's do that. We multiply both sides by c, right? These c's cancel out. So we're left with c times cosine of 38 degrees equals to 15. Okay. Then we want to divide both sides by cosine of 38 degrees. Cosine 38 degrees. These cancel out now. We're left with c equals to 15 divided by cosine of 38 degrees. Okay. So we plug that in our calculator. We get approximately 19.04 something. And we have to put units, right? So we know the sides are in centimeters. So let's see. So I know, So I know now side C is equal to 19.04 centimeters. I'm just keeping this here as my answer box, so I know when I'm done, I have all the missing parts. Okay. So finally, we need to find out side B, right? So we know C is equal to 19.04 centimeters. So we have one unknown still, that's side B. So in order to find side B, we could use the Pythagorean Theorem because we now know C, right? We could plug C in as 19.04 squared equals 15 squared plus B squared and solve for B, right? Subtract that from both sides. So that's one way of solving for B. B is going to be the square root of 19.04 squared minus 15 squared. Okay? Okay, so before I finish that one, I'm going to show you how you could solve for B using our trigonometric functions. Trigonometric functions. That's just our sine, cosine, and tangent. So to find side B, let's use a different reference angle. This time, let's use 52 as our reference angle, okay? So sine of 52 degrees, what's that going to be? Well, if this is our reference angle, sine is opposite over hypotenuse. So that's going to be 15 divided by 19.04. Well, that doesn't really help. There's no unknowns. What about cosine of 52 degrees? Okay, again, we're trying to find side B. Well, cosine is going to be adjacent, right? B divided by hypotenuse, which is 19.04. Okay, so we can use cosine. We don't even need to start tangent because now we know we can find B using cosine, right? How do we do that? Well, we multiply both sides by 19.04. 19.04. These cancel out, and we're left with B is equal to 19.04 times cosine of 52 degrees. Now you plug that in your calculator, make sure you're in degrees mode, and you get B is approximately 11.72, and make sure we put our units, right, centimeters. So now I could go back up here, and I get 11.72 centimeters. Here, 11.72 centimeters, right? And if I were to calculate this, well, guess what? This is approximately 11.72 centimeters as well. So we can do this calculation using trigonometric functions, even our Pythagorean theorem, and then we solve the triangle Okay, so this ends CPM Precalculus Chapter 1, number 50.